also faced in a very expensive self-cleaning Portland stone. So every time it rains in London, the bridge cleans itself. On our left, a building with a green dome in the centre, Somerset's House. Was built for the Dukes of Somerset. They never got to stay in it though because they lost it in a game of cards to the King. It was used for a number of years by the Registrar General for the records of all births, marriages and deaths. They had a curious nickname over here. They called it the Hatcham, Matcham and Dispatcham departments. Nowadays part of this building is run by the Inland Revenue. So now they just catch them. On the right, the building with the electronic changing sign is the National Theatre. Unfortunately, this building does get voted one of London's ugliest every year. It used to win the Carbuncle Award quite regularly. Now, we do have a competition for ugly buildings in London. Why? I don't know, but we do. And it is called the Carbuncle Award. That come from Prince Charles. It's what he described the National Theatre as a monstrous carbuncle. On our left, the white vessel with the yellow funnel is the HQS Wellington. She used to be the flagship of the Royal New Zealand Navy. She's now permanently moored here and is the only floating livery hall in the world. And she's a livery hall to the Honourable Company of Master Mariners. You must have been a captain at sea for over 25 years to become a member of this club. Behind the stern of the Wellington, the stone archway, Temple Gate and Arch, marks the boundaries between the two cities. The city of Westminster, we are just leaving, and the city of London, we are just entering. One of the smallest capitals in the world at 1 square mile, and the other boundary is Tower Bridge. If you look over on the left as well, on either side of the road, you'll see these two silver heraldic dragons. These are placed at every major entrance and exit to the City of London, and they are meant to deter all evil. But I know that they don't work because my ex-wife walks past there every day. She was evil. On the right here we have the Oxo Tower. This is where they used to make the famous stock cube. Not made here anymore though. The bottom two floors are shops. We have apartments in between. And at the top is the very nice Harvey Nichols Oxo Tower restaurant and bistro. Now, when this building was first erected, it was illegal to advertise on the banks of the Thames unless your company had something to do with boats or barges. Oxo makes stock cubes. They got nothing to do with boats, and don't say a gravy boat either, that people will try that one. Now, they was taken to court, and they argued it was merely a coincidence that the windows on the tower spelt their company name. Surprisingly, the judge actually agreed with them, and they've had over 90 years of free advertising out here on the Thames. On our left, there's a red brick building in a Gothic style. This is Zion College, a college for the Anglican clergy. They boast over 100,000 volumes of theological works, including Queen Victoria's personal Bible and diary, and the first English edition Bible that was printed on William Caxton's press. Just ahead of us here is a seal. Oh, he's just popping under. I reckon he's got a fish. He has got a fish. Quite a big boy as well, just dunked under there. Looked like he had an eel in his mouth, actually. Good view of St Paul's over on our left hand side, about the best view we get now from the river. Took 35 years to build, completed 1710, stands 365 feet tall, 1 foot for each day of the year. Buried in St Paul's is Red himself, and above his tomb a Latin inscription roughly translates, If you seek my monument, look about you. Referring to over 120 of Wren's buildings, Church Queen Victoria, to commemorate a Dominican monastery which stood over on the left. If you look around the top of the columns, all these carvings of birds, these are all the different kinds of waterfowl that you'll find out here on the Thames. Now, it's the only point on the river where you'll find three bridges this close together, and they're often referred to as the Tunnel of Love. They say as if you go through, if you turn to a loved one and give them a quick kiss, it will grant you many years of happiness. Obviously, if you're not on the boat with a loved one today, you've always got your husband or your wife, I suppose. Any single ladies on the boat, you can come up here, give the captain a kiss. He won't mind. Make an orderly queue. Any single men, just go downstairs, find Lewis, our barman. He's quite an open-minded young man. Just down on our right-hand side, you'll see the building with the tall chimney. This is the old Bankside Power Station. It was designed by Giles Gilbert Scott. He also designed Liverpool Cathedral, the Anglican one, Battersea Power Station about 2 miles behind us, and his most famous piece of work was London's Red Telephone Box. It's no longer a power station, no. It now houses the Tate Art Gallery of Modern Art. It is free to go in over there, but if you've ever seen modern art, you'll know why it's free. Now, the bridge ahead of us is the Millennium Footbridge, or more commonly known as the Wibbly Wobbly Bridge. It was opened by the Queen on a Sunday, and it was closed by the police on a Monday because it wobbled. As people walked across it, the bridge began to sway. People fell over, and people were sick on the ones that had fell over. It was a very messy day here in London. But after a couple of £1 million extra, the bridge is now safe. Children might remember this bridge from one of the Harry Potter films where the nasty Death Eaters destroyed it. Talking of Harry Potter, he actually went to school just on the left-hand side there, the City of London School. It's about £15,000 a term over there. You'd expect your kids to do magic when they come out of there after that amount of money. Small cream-coloured building on the right there with a red painted door, 49 Cardinals Wharf, Bankside, and that's where Christopher Wren lived while St Paul's was under construction. You might think, why did he live on the South Shore when his building was being taken place on the north? You must remember that the Great Fire of London devastated the north-hand side of the river. The timber frame building with a thatched roof is a replica of William Shakespeare's Globe Theatre. Started off by Sam Wanamaker, the American actor, film producer, to recreate the Globe at Bankside. It was all built in the old traditional methods, and it's the first building in London to have a thatched roof since the Great Fire. The flag flying from the flagpole denotes that one of Shakespeare's plays is being performed today. Who turn up just before wave because they're more than likely lost. And in the right-hand corner of the bridge, in the right-hand corner of the next bridge, you will see the public house. This is the Anchor at Bankside. There's been an Anchor pub on this site since 1615. It was in one of the old anchors that William Shakespeare had a changing room when performing at the nearby Rose and Globe theatres. Samuel Pepys, the diarist, when the Great Fire started, he retreated to an inn in Bankside, where he stayed, watched the fire rage, and wrote his diary. Said to be the Anchor pub on the right. Now, just to head off to the right, above the bridge, you'll see the Shard, Europe's tallest building. It is over 8,000 feet tall. You have offices, apartments, restaurants, a 200-room, 5-star Shangri-La hotel. There's a swimming pool on the 50. Just look around the bottom of the columns here and you can see how fast the tide's coming in today. It's running at about 3.5 to 4 knots today, this tide. Now, on our right hand side, you'll see a vessel lying in a wet dock. This is a replica of Sir Francis, brother to William, is buried here. And a young boy was baptised here by the name of John Harvard. He later went off to America to help found the Harvard Libraries at the university. Down in a rough direction of which we're travelling, it's said to lay at a doorstep of a little baker shop. Now, we did say that there was a viewing platform up the Shard. If you have a look at the building on the left, it gets wider as it goes up to the top. This is 20 Fenchurch Street, or nicknamed the Walkie Talkie. If you look up the top there, you see all them people standing up there. They are visiting the Sky Garden, which is free to go up to if you book a ticket online. There's also a restaurant up there as well. The sandy coloured building on our left where the goldfish were weather vanes, the old village quarters. A young man, if you've ever tried to smuggle any illegal contraband into the country, such as cigarettes, alcohol, drugs, it is confiscated off you and stored in the basement of this warehouse. And they say that they incinerate it. Now, I've worked on this river for over 30 years now, and I have never seen a puff of smoke come out of them chimneys. I heard they have some very good Christmas parties over there, though. HMS Belfast on the right, largest of the light battle cruisers to be built for the Royal Navy. Launched in 1938 in Harland and Wolff, Belfast, by Mrs. Neville Chamberlain. She helped in the chase in the eventual sinking of the German battleship the Scharnhorst, and she last fired her guns in anger during the Korean campaign. She's now permanently moored here and open 7 days a week as a museum to British naval power, and makes for a great day out. Don't take my word for it, just look at the people on there, look at the joy and excitement on all their faces, truly having a smashing day aboard the old ship. Now, down on our left hand side you'll be able to see the Tower of London, London's most famous landmark. Now, work started here in 1078 by William the Conqueror. The oldest part of the tower is the Norman Keep. That's the building in the centre with the 4 turrets. In the past, the tower has been a palace, a fortress, a prison, a mint, menagerie, observatory, nowadays more famous for housing the crown jewels. On the embankment wall, you'll just see the top of the bricked up entry to the Traitors' Gate. After Traitors was tried and condemned in the old Palace of Westminster, they was rowed down river, taken through this gateway and imprisoned Queen Elizabeth I. Now, Tower Bridge ahead of us was opened in 1890. Square mile of the City of London. And when our